Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session with Unique Master. I'm glad that today I have a special guest, Ingmar. He's creative strategy consultant, and today we want to talk about content marketing, how to be creative and create very good content. But I'm sure that Ingmar can introduce and tell a little bit about himself better than me.
Well, thanks for having me, and it's great to be with you in this interview series. I spent most of my career in advertising agencies in Hamburg, Berlin, and Vienna. Well, many years ago, I started to study media science and communication research. I began my career as a creative, as a copywriter, and then if you are a copywriter, you're the one that is responsible for making sense. And if you are the one who is responsible for making sense, you are pretty close to doing strategy as well. And so I developed to do more and more strategy. And if you are doing strategy, need to be very close to the clients as well. So nowadays, I try to put all these different parts together: creativity, strategy, and close contact to the clients. And that is why I consider myself to be a creative strategy consultant, because I think it's really important to bring strategy and creativity as close together as possible.
Thank you so much for explaining. I think you know better than me that content is very important for,
It
especially for
is.
the startups, because or any other company, because with your content you can basically introduce yourself to the market, to your customers. You think for the earliest stage founders, is that necessary to hire a digital content consultant or someone that create content for them, or you think they can do it themselves as well?
Well, I think in the very beginning, for most founders, it's difficult to hire someone because they have to look where they spend their money. And what I think what really helps if you have someone close as a mentor or someone who's a sparring partner for you. To hire someone, you are immediately in a situation where you have to tell someone what to do. You have to pay him or she, and this can be sometimes a bit of a problem in the very beginning. But if you have someone who's helping you to find your words, to find your story, to find the core of your product or of the service that you are offering, that can be really helpful. And if he or she is someone who's, well, very good in one of the different social media channels or very good at copywriting, perhaps he will give you some free advice. And I think this is for the very beginning quite helpful if you find someone like that.
So, do you think to have a content marketing strategy is necessary from the beginning, or they can just skip it for later?
Well, content marketing strategy is such a big word. You know, you read it in every keynote and in every PowerPoint and in a lot of pitch decks. I think the very first step is that you are really precise and clear who you are and what you want to offer and which topic you are covering. And to find this topic, I think this is the key moment for all your content. And from this on, a content marketing strategy can develop. And but if you don't have a topic, it's difficult to develop a content marketing strategy. When you start producing content around your topic, then you should think about which content piece is perfectly suited for which channel, which then is more like a kind of channel planning. And these different elements put together then can work as a content marketing strategy. Because if you have a strategy, you have to measure if you're reaching the goals that you want to pursue with your strategy. And I think this will take some time, that you have enough content and enough feedback and enough results to really evaluate your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So in the very beginning, be first very clear about the topic and the people you want to address. And then if you start producing content, start to model and redesign your content marketing strategy.
If they want to design a strategy and have a, for example, calendar, put their content there when they want to publish it, what is it about? What aspects about the customers and about their own products should they consider before writing it?
Well, that's a really important question because, well, your target groups or your personas are the most important pieces or parts in the content marketing strategy. And I think you should be really aware of, well, what different people are expecting from your services or your product, and what kind of questions do they have, and, well, what is a trigger that will make them buy your product. And this is something you should always have in mind when you are creating new content posts. For whom am I doing this, and what is the purpose of this single content piece, and at which part of the, well, consumer journey I want to use this content piece. That is so well, that's the most interesting and the most difficult part of content marketing, because, well, everything can be content, and this can sometimes be a little bit overwhelming if you try to fit it like a jigsaw, each piece into a different part of the customer journey, but you have the bigger picture always in mind.
Yeah, that's true. So we have different type of content marketing, I would say, for different stage, right?
Yes.
So I also heard a lot that through the content it's possible to grow the business. What does that mean? Like, how is it possible? Because of course everyone creates content, but they don't grow. So
Yeah, that's one of the mysteries of content marketing, I guess. Well, generally speaking, content can help you to create awareness and to make people aware of the product and your services, and about the details of your product and your services. And this is necessary for growth. It doesn't guarantee growth. Well, but nothing guarantees growth, and you have to be aware of that. But, well, content offers you the opportunity to, well, spread a lot of different kinds of information about your business. And when I said a minute before that everything can be content, well, make use of that. You can make the story of your founding as a giant pool for content pieces. All the processes that you are going through, the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the different steps that you take when you start founding, and you can, well, use all these bits and pieces of information to make the story of your founding more interesting. And so this can help you to grow your audience, and perhaps most importantly, activate your audience. Because when we talk about growth, we are already close to key metrics, to KPIs. What can we really reach with, or what kind of goals can we reach with content? It's mostly awareness and consideration and activation later on in the funnel. And yeah, so well, how can I put it? Well, content, everything can be content, and it's nothing and it's all. What I want to say with that is, you want people to talk about your content, but it's not public relations. you want to make kind of official announcement about your business when you went to a lawyer or when you um, rented a new office or something like that, but it's not corporate communication. You want your product to look the best and the most convincing, but it's not advertising. You want people to share and like and comment it, but it's not only social media. You want people to read a lot of information about the details of your services or product, um, but it's not just SEO website content. Um, so all these aspects are part of content, and you can make use of that.
Yeah, it was a very well explained, and I'm like convinced now about how should a good content look like. But can you also suggest some tools helping to basically prepare your content, or I don't know, do you use yourself any tool for your content?
Well, I use, of course, Canvas. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the most convenient tool if you want to create content.
Yeah, the
Um,
best.
and there are so many tools out there. I think Plannable is quite good for how to organize your content, how to fulfill your channel planning ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, there are different editing programs, and there are so many that I don't remember all the names, so I can't really recommend one. Um, the most important part of content is to get started. If you are doing a very, very long research, what is the best content marketing tool, you're losing time and you get lost in the process of looking for the perfect program. I think with
Mm-hmm.
with your iPhone or your smartphone, you already have access to quite a lot of tools that can help you do great
Mm-hmm.
videos or pictures.
Apart from that, also when I wanted to publish my content, there was a question always in my mind that, like, now there are so many different social media channels from Quora to Instagram. And of course, it's not possible to be like active in all of them because there are so
No.
many, it takes so much time. You think how a startup founder should figure out which channel is suitable for their business to start?
Mm, well, I think you should start with your personas or with your target groups
Mm-hmm.
that is really important. Where do I reach the people I want to reach? And I think what is really important as well is which channel are you feeling comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can look at it from both aspects. If you say, well, it needs to fit for the customers, and you always think, what are my customers want, and how do they feel, and how do they act, and how can I how can I meet their demands? Perhaps you lose your gut feelings. Huh? You know what I mean? That you are starting to create content you only create for others. And if
Mm-hmm.
you create those content only for others, but really don't feel close to it or are convinced of it, I think you won't be happy. And I'm pretty sure that then the content will not work.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it has to be a mixture of both. It needs to be a combination of the channels where you can reach your most interesting target groups, and a channel where you have a feeling to. If you are don't know, if you don't like to write, you shouldn't start a blog, even though perhaps someone is saying you the most important part for your content marketing is a blog.
Mm-hmm.
If you are Because all these channels are changing all the time. There are new formats and different functionalities for all these channels, and so it's important that you get some awareness and some feedback through your content, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, make sure that you do it on a channel that is relevant for your target group and where you feel at home.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Very good and well explained answer. That how they should start writing their content and which channel maybe they should consider for publishing their content. But imagine that they basically now publish their content. How should they evaluate it? Like, is there any characteristic for a good content in social media?
Well, there is, but the answer is more complex, I think. You know, I used to work in creative agencies where you spend weeks or sometimes months to make an idea great and make it look stunning. Then you put it on the TV channel and that's it. You sometimes ask for the results, but sometimes you didn't. So creative quality is one way to judge content. The results it delivers is another important part. And perhaps some will say this is the most important part. Only that content that will reach the audience, creates awareness and get reactions is the best one. But well, sometimes the most boring content piece can be the most successful one. If you think, for instance, like FAQs or how-tos, normally you would say, well, that is quite, well, it's not interesting, but perhaps it's really, really relevant for your target group. And I think we all do that. If we have a certain question, we Google it, and if we get an easy answer, we are totally happy. And then that is perfect content, even though it's just a few lines, a kind of introduction, great content. A great answer to a comment can be fantastic content as well. If you start to engage with your audience and have a close look on the topics that they are commenting on and the insights perhaps that they are giving through their comments, and you have a clever reaction to these comments or try to find them a new perspective on a topic that they are bringing up, that can be great content as well. A shiny video where people are looking like this, oh, wow, what's that? Can be great as well. So it depends again on, well, on your target groups and on the goals you want to reach. And I have to stress that again, I wouldn't take out all the gut feeling. If you are happy with the content piece and perhaps nobody likes it, you can, there are two ways you can go. You can say, well, okay, I like it, but nobody else like it, so I don't do that anymore. Or you try to find out, okay, what can I do to make this piece what I like, to make it a bit more attractive.
Yeah, I totally understood now. So imagine that I want to basically develop my own skills for the content marketing or learn how to write good content. Can you like suggest any book or maybe YouTube channel possibilities to learn more?
There is a very good book, a German one. I think it's called Content That Converts. We all have our favorite people on Instagram or LinkedIn that we follow, and that perhaps can be the best part of inspiration. If you see a content piece and I think, well, I like that, well, then just copy it or make your own version of that. I think this is the best way to get started and to proceed.
Yeah, I think it's very important to get a start, try different types of content and see what your target customer prefers. And from my own experience, sometimes it's not the fault of the content. It's also important when you post, like the time that you post it.
Definitely. But there are, well, you can faster Google it than I can explain it. There are so many how is it what cheat sheets where you can find out what's the best time to post and when. And there are all these tricks and hints that you still should start already engaging with other people before you post your content, so that the algorithm already realizes that you're active. Um, and then, yeah, think of your target audience, when they are in which situation and when they have time to consume social media, for instance. I think all these tricks can help you to find the perfect timing. But I would say don't expect too much from these tricks, because everyone is using these tricks, so it's difficult to stick out.
Yeah.
At the A few months ago, you could all read in a lot of posts that you shouldn't post on LinkedIn on Sunday or on Saturday, because then people are not in the office and they're not in the mood for business topics. And I don't think that's really true, because I think, well, due to Corona and different circumstances, our lives have all changed. And I don't think that people only care about business topics when they are in the office. They care about business topics in the weekends as well. So
Yeah.
sometimes you see posts on LinkedIn that get really a lot of reaction because people perhaps have time on Sunday. They have more time than on Monday or on Thursday. And if you say, well, I want to reach my B2B audience when they go to the lunch break during their office times, and okay, during the lunch break they don't have time, but when they are on their way to the lunch break, this is the perfect timing for my content piece. Well, it might work, but I think it's a gamble.
Yes, exactly. And it's very competitive, especially on Instagram. It's like
Yes.
so hard to get notice of other people. But LinkedIn is much more easier. I feel the algorithm is more kinder
Yeah.
than Instagram.
Yeah. Well, I think if you have the topic, this is the best red thread for you in all that you are doing. I'm part of the Creative Future Academy here in Hamburg, Hamburg Kreativgesellschaft, and I work with a fashion artist who wants to make more use of her digital channels. And the first sessions, and we are still at it, is about to find her topic, her position, and her perspective on the topic. And it really makes sense to
Yeah.
to spend your time on that. And if you find the topic and find your precise angle on this very topic, and then start to look for the hashtags and so on, then you already have a guide where to engage and how to engage, and it will take some time. And I think this is something I really don't like about the whole content marketing bubble on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, where people promise you the easy path to success or the quick ways to double your audience, or how easy it is to make lots of fortunes with your business. It will always take some time, and you need
Yeah.
to, with each and every algorithm is different of each and every social media channel. But for most of the social media channels, perhaps it's a bit different with TikTok. It's important that you constantly and regularly do your postings, and it will take some time. There is not this shortcut, I think.
That's true. I really enjoyed a conversation with you, and I learned a lot myself from what you said, and I think I'm going to use them for my also content strategy from now. To end the conversation, I would like to hear your advice for early stage entrepreneurs or people who just want to start their journey. Do you have any advice for them?
Um, the most simple advice I can give is start writing it down. Because, and I experience this by myself, you have so many thoughts running through your head, and you have so many ideas, and sometimes things seem to you very clear what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, but it's difficult for you to make people perceive that. And the first step, it sounds really, really old-fashioned, I know that, but write it down, look at it, and talk with people about it. And you know, we both met at the mentoring club, which is a fantastic, I think, institution. And
Exactly.
it's so easy to, with a mentoring club or other institutions, to talk with people about your ideas. And well, you shouldn't. I don't say that you only should listen to others, but if you write it down and put it into words and tell it to someone, something will happen. He or she will tell you if he gets it or not, and what he likes and what he doesn't like, and this will help you to get started. Because as long as it's only in your head, it's difficult to make use of it. And writing down and working on those words and find the words are the perfect start.
Yes. Great, very unique, and I think important point that you mentioned, because so many people come to me and says, okay, I have an idea, but maybe, or even I don't have an idea, but I'm interested. I don't know how to begin. And I think you mentioned a very important point. Just write it down, talk with people, and collect feedback.
I think the founders are often in the same situation like companies because they don't see what they got. You know, in German we have the saying, you don't see the forest because there are so many trees. And I have made the experience that if you are coming from the outside into a company, you can show them that there are a fucking lot of trees and it's a gigantic forest and make use of that. But they don't see the forest. They look for something different. And you say to them, well, look what you've got, look what you've reached, look who you are, look what you do, and look from it from a different angle. And don't get stuck because you think, well, I'm not the best in that one, or there are others that are better than we are doing. Find this tiny little differences, and then you will get through the forest to the light. Perhaps.
That's exactly the way. Thank you so much, Ingmar, for sharing your knowledge with me and the audience. I'm sure they get a lot of knowledge and benefit from today's session. And there are no more questions from me. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, I can just thank you again for inviting me and to the discussion that we had, or the start that we had on the mentoring club, that there's a kind of next step. I think it's great to see what you're doing and how you're proceeding, and how you're starting to, well, connect different people and make their knowledge available. I think that is really fantastic, and I wish you best of luck for your journey. And I hope we meet again, digital or in person, and see what we've reached until then.
Yes, I'm looking forward to meet you as well. Thank you.